Good Lord. Hello, everybody. Tis the V at you one more time. God, it is so past my bedtime. You have to know that, I was like all snuggled in my bed in what I thought was cold because, like, my feet are cold and it's like 68 degrees in my house because I'm a wimp. However, I've got somebody in much colder weather on the other end of this conversation. Someone who really doesn't need any introduction, but that's been said before too. So I'm going to actually try to be quiet, which, if you know me, that's very, very difficult. And let this gentleman tell you about himself. And this is Ross, the boss, Freedman. And I am so honored to be talking to you. How you doing, honey?
I'm fine. Thanks for having me
Oh,
on.
this is like really cool. Only give me your brief background and then
Okay.
catch me up to now because then I'll start picking your brain.
Okay. Well, I started out with a band called The Dictators. Was my first band from New York City. It's kind of more known as we're kind of pre-punk, right after the New York Dolls, and right before a year before the Ramones started. Had their first record. We had a record out, 1975. Dictators Go Girl Crazy. Now it's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in the punk exhibit. Um,
Nice.
we started in 1975. I started professional music 1975. We made three albums. Then we took a hiatus for a little bit. I joined a French band called Shaken Street, and they were definitely French.
You got to
So
expand on that a little bit.
yeah, we had a female singer, Fabienne Shine, who I love to death, and they still play. And I guess I do, play on their newer records, newer CDs. Okay, so when I was in Shaken Street, we had the same manager as Black Sabbath and Blue Oyster Cult. So we found ourselves in England opening up for Black Sabbath,
Nice.
my idols, and that was 1979, right? And Ronnie Dio comes up to me and says, "Oh, Ross, I know the Dictators and the Ramones, and I love the New York punk and all that stuff. I really love it." And he knew everything, and such a gentle. He was the sweetest
Hmm.
human being I ever met, and great guy, Ronnie Dio. And he goes, "You got to meet this guy on our crew. He plays bass. I think you should meet. Maybe you can meet him. I mean, become friends or something." I said, "Okay, Ronnie." Whatever he said, yes,
Yeah.
okay. So his name was Joey, and immediately right after that, I went and saw Joey out, and we kind of like became friends, instant friends, and we started talking about the kind of bands we liked, and we said, of course, Black Sabbath, our idols, and but then I went on to Cream and Led Zeppelin and Grand Funk Railroad and all these, Mountain. The Who, of course, all these bands, power bands, trios with a singer, without a singer, blah 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 blah. So, long story short, we decided to form a band. Me and Joey. I kind of like we planned. I played my last show with Shaken Street in Hawaii at Aloha Stadium, and then we came off the road and we got together and we started writing tunes, and that was the band that we started was called Manowar.
Oh, that
Okay, so,
band.
yeah. Yeah, so everyone knows Manowar, and I got a record contract with my friend from EMI, and there we started. We put out Battle Hymns in 1982, and I made six records in 6 years with Manowar, 1982, 1988, and then for reasons, I parted company with Manowar in 1988 with the band that I invented. Uh, we went back to what was I doing? Then the Dictators had an offshoot band called Manitoba's Wild Kingdom, and I joined Manitoba's Wild Kingdom in 1990. We put out Manitoba's Wild Kingdom and You, which is kind of thrash punk, all 2-minute songs. Great record. The Party Starts Now was in Kindergarten Cop, and
Nice.
Party Starts Now. And then I proceeded to have like my solo bands. I had a band called Heyday, which was like blues rock. Then I had a band called the Spinatras, which was kind of like Cheap Trick meets the Ramones. They both have records, and then I did. Then the Dictators started playing again in '96, and we started touring again, big time in Spain. And I I joined a band called the Brain Surgeons. That's with Albert Bouchard from the Blue Oyster Cult,
Nice.
genius guy. And so I had the Brain Surgeons, and then where was Brain Surgeons? But Dictators kept playing. Then around 2005, we played Earthshaker. I played Earthshaker with Manowar, and everyone was flipping out that I was, I did that. Came back, and I met a band, the band that backed me. Not the band that backed me, but my friend got me with these guys from Germany. So I started playing some early Manowar sets, and I made a demo, and we got signed to AFM. So we put out New Metal Leader in 2008 and Hailstorm in 2010, 2 records. And then I met Sean Peck on Facebook, and he has a band called Cage, and he got me to join this band. We have a band called Death Dealer now. That's my latest metal project, and that's where we are.
Okay, because
Death Dealer and the Dictators. I have 2 bands. I have the Dictators and Death Dealer. Dictators NYC. We playing all over the place. We're playing more than ever now. It's unbelievable. And then Death Dealer. We're playing.
okay, isn't that cool how things like cycle around though? Because I'm tripping on the fact that you're saying that with the Dictators starting out in '75, and now you're playing more than ever now. And it's a trip, isn't it?
It is unbelievable. But the love for that old school. First of all, we're the last punk band standing, the oldest last punk band standing in the world. I mean, from CBGBs, because everyone else is dead.
Well, this is a good thing. Be happy about this. This is good that you're still here.
We had the honor of closing CBGBs too. We were the last band that played on that stage. And the last song that was played, by the way, is a historical fact, was Blitzkrieg Bop with Tommy Ramone. Tommy Ramone was the only surviving Ramone, and he came up and sang, and I'm standing on that stage and I'm going, this is it. Right. This is freaking it.
Can you get that?
Yeah, hold on. Can we stop it? Okay.
Actually, I'm going to keep it.
Okay, so, all right, so that was the last thing. We're on stage with CBGBs, and it's the last song of the last time we would ever play there. And it was a very, very foreboding feeling I had. I wasn't happy at all. It wasn't good. And, because we had played there 34 times. And, so, it was it. And, goodbye, CBGBs. And then, Tommy passed last year. Or this year. So no one's left. So the Ramones are all gone. And so where the Dictators were in, decent shape and really good shape, and we're playing.
Right.
And it's an honor.
That really is awesome. And the thing is that you are really busy. I mean, you're doing a lot of different things. And I want to touch on a couple other things too, like Sean Peck. I have to give a shout out to him. I absolutely adore him. I think he's a great talent, and I feel like I personally owe him a lot. Because we were back in the day in San Diego when Cage was first doing their thing. I was in a different band that I started out in called Malady, and they would have these, rock carnivals and over at 4th and B in San Diego, which was like the venue to play at. And they always put on a really great show, and they would let us, play the carnival and stuff or open shows or whatever. And I really feel that because of him, in a lot of ways, there was just that period of time where I got to kind of get my feet wet doing that sort of stuff. And he was a real instrumental part of that. And he's always a go-getter. There's something I truly admire. He was definitely determined to do what he's got to do. And that, I have to say, is that's something else. And he's to see that he is still making stuff happen, as are you.
Yeah.
And
we're really, I mean, we made a really fantastic debut record.
Right.
And have you heard it?
I have not heard all of it, but I have heard some of it. I definitely, you were just playing, where were you? Well, see, now I saw you with the Dictators.
Right.
We were just talking about that.
You saw us up in Boston, yeah.
Yeah. And so I have heard, because there was a place we were going to play. Was it that festival in, come on, the one that didn't really come off well and got all that controversy? And I believe you were going to play that as well. It'll come to me. Going White Marsh?
Something, oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You were supposed to, so I checked you guys out then because I was like, oh, this is going to be great. Plus Sean is involved. So I wanted, and it kicks ass.
When when Death Dealer was out the first time in L.A., this guy Gabe Reed came to knew my agent, one of my agents, and the guy came and saw me play. So Death Dealer loved it, and he goes, "My name's Gabe Reed, and I do these festivals and I do these tours." And I go, "Okay, cool," And so this Metal All Stars thing, his idea, he had the Rock All Stars with Sebastian Bach and Gene Simmons and those guys, and then he's going to do the Metal All Stars. So, needless to say, we did March and April Metal All Stars in Eastern Europe, and those were really big places. All Eastern Europe, like Bulgaria, Moscow, St. Petersburg, Istanbul. We had a whole bunch of songs, and not a whole bunch of places. So that tour went really well. Played Stockholm, Finland.
Hmm. You got to go
Uh,
all over.
yeah, that was 10 shows,
Hmm.
and we had Zach Wild, Cobra Page, Joey
Love her.
Belladonna,
Hmm.
Udo Dirkschneider.
Yeah.
Yeah, Max
I was
Cavalera.
watching some of that video and stuff too, and it had Udo on, and I was like, "Damn, that looks like such a fantastic show." Is that kind of stuff fun, or are there clashing of egos? I mean, you can be honest. You don't have to
Well,
say any name, or is it pretty much everybody's like on the same page? Let's just go have some fun, or
right. Well, everyone was on the same. Everyone was cool. Everyone wants the best, do their best, and make the best show for the fans, which they're everything.
hmm
This time we're going to. This time the whole lineup is different. It's more singer centered than
hmm
last time. We have James LeBrie, we have Chuck Billy from Testament, we have Joey Belladonna, we have Jeff Tate,
nice.
and Zach is gonna finish the show. So me being guitar playing, Gus G and me. We're playing most of the guitars, and we have some South American musicians for this leg, and so you can understand that I'm learning these songs like,
Yeah,
wow. I mean, I'm just used to playing my own music, and so all of a sudden I have to play two Testament songs, two Anthrax songs, two
right.
two Queensryche songs. It's like everything is different. It's like,
Yeah, and you got to make it believable. You got to make it your own, and you got to
of course,
deliver.
I gotta get into that head.
Yeah, and
Blah,
that
blah, blah.
approach.
I mean, it's like I don't do those kind of things. I'm not really. That's not my deal. But I do it. I'm going to do Symphony of Destruction. Dave Ellefson's going to be there on bass. We're
Oh
going to
wow.
do uh, Fear of the Dark. Kobe's going to sing Fear of the Dark, and we're going to do the song, a Manowar song, Hail and Kill. So it's like we're going to run and I'm going to play with Max Cavalera. Max Cavalera is joining us for the two because he lives there. He's from South America. So I'm doing all these songs, which is really cool. So it gives me an opportunity to really look into these other bands' styles and techniques and
That's
uh,
only going to add to what you can do into your own repertoire as far
yeah.
as your
I mean,
own
it
versatility
never
as
hurts to
well.
learn,
So,
even at my age, it never hurts to learn anything. So
well, obviously, you seem to be like kicking a lot of ass and doing a lot of stuff. And I do want to go back, if you don't mind, because I always like to find out like the personal stuff.
yeah.
I mean, okay, if you want to talk about like the whole thing in '88 with Manowar, that's cool too.
No, it's whatever you want to talk
Yeah,
about.
let's go there. You want to go there about that? What happened?
Oh, well,
Not really. Move on.
it's been pounded into the ground, and
That's what I'm thinking. So let's move on. So we got
oh,
that. But what I want to know is like, especially with the death dealers, seeing that I know Sean
right.
somewhat, how did they approach you, and how did you know it was going to be the right fit? At what point did you say, "Oh, this is going to work"? And how did you
Well,
feel?
well, the thing is, that we met on Facebook. I had
Yeah.
Sean Peck as a friend. I don't even know how I had all these people as my friends because I think the girl that did my Dawn War, the girl that handled all my stuff was like adding friends for she thought anyone's cool, everyone's met. So he starts talking to me. He goes, Ross, you're really, because it was before the election, the first presidential election, I think,
Hmm.
was 2000. No, the second presidential election, 2010. He goes, we had the same political beliefs,
Hmm.
and then we're not Democrats,
I
so
got that.
right. So and Sean's going, blah 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 blah, and he goes, oh, by the way, I have a couple of songs. Would you like to play on them? And I go, sure, why not? Because that's me. That's the kind. I like you know, I like doing that. Some guys just don't, don't do anything.
Right.
So I said, it's okay. Let's hear it. So he sent me some songs. He said, okay. So then the next night, I get this call. This guy, another guy, Stu Marshall.
Hmm.
He's he's Australian. So it turns out, oh, mate, how you doing? And I'm working with Sean. And I go, oh, you working with Sean? Okay. And now I looked into his background, and he's a fantastic guitar player. And he was in a band called Dungeon, and he's got this thing called Empires of Eden, his solo thing. I said,
Hmm.
okay, so it got to go. I'm working with Sean. Blah blah blah. Would you like to play on some songs? I go, sure, man. He goes, I've idolized you all my life. You're the reason that I play guitar. Blah 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 blah. Hail to England is my favorite record of all time. You're God to me. He goes, oh really? Oh, that's very nice to hear. So yeah, things moved on, and then they finally sent me some songs. I said, "This is good shit, man. I really like it. I mean, I really like the songs, and I really like the way. I mean, Sean's, you know, I mean, he sings
Speaks for
great.
himself.
I got to
Uh-huh.
say this. I know, he sings great in Cage, but this was on another level.
Right.
I think I really do. I mean, but listen, it's my band, so I mean,
Of course.
but
But
everyone
you
thinks that.
get a point.
So it turns out he goes, well, Sean goes, now listen to this guy, Sean, how he manipulates things. All of a sudden he goes, by the way, I have a concept for the band. I go, you do? Yeah, I have a name. It's going to be called Death Dealer. I go, Death Dealer? Oh, I like that name. He goes, we have a drummer. His name is Rhino. You know him. You play he was I know Rhino's played in Manowar. I go, okay. Rhino's great. Okay. We have a bass player. His name is Mike Davis. He played in Lizzie Borden, and he played with Halford. He's the bass player in Halford. I go, well, that's cred. I like that.
Hmm.
So you have a whole band? He goes, yeah, and even have artwork. He sent me the artwork. I got a guy's working on artwork and da da da. He goes, we're waiting for you. It's either going to be you or KK Downing on guitar. I said, KK Downing's retired. He goes, yeah, I know. So what do you think?
That's so Sean. That is
So
just
Sean, I
it's
go,
perfect.
well, yeah, okay, I had already made up my mind because the songs were so fantastic. So we took it from there. Then we started really finishing the record. Then I started adding my songs and blah 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 blah. We started really, transcontinent internet blasting.
Right.
Skype sessions, and we really got down to business. And it really didn't matter that Stu was in Australia and they're in California and I'm in New York. So we did the first record, blah 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 blah, and Rhino, unfortunately, Rhino couldn't stay in the band, had some personal problems, and we got Steve Bolognese, and so that's the band. That's the band that. Oh, and by the way, Death Dealer was the opening band on the Metal All Stars in March.
Oh,
So
sweet.
we played. If you saw the videos, we played in front of lots of people,
Right.
and these people never heard of us. And I got on, and they're not. I mean, they're respecting me as soon as they saw me,
Right.
and once they found out who we were, and then it was like we were the headliner. It was just unbelievable. I mean, we had a tremendous reaction. So
That's
that's
got to feel great, especially when you come from not you personally, but the band as an entity is an unknown in that situation.
right.
So you're out there, and then probably takes a minute. You warm them over, you win them over, and it's on, and it's that feeling of accomplishment. Uh, What keeps you so motivated to do all this stuff? What is
Well, because I have nothing else to do. Well, I do actually do, but I mean,
you do, don't you? I
yeah,
mean, that's what I want to know about too. But
no, but
on an artistic level, what keeps it interesting for you, and what keeps it fresh for you?
well, because anytime I put a guitar on, I love it. I mean, I think that's like I didn't get into the business for anything else but music. It's not money because forget it. So
Mm-hmm.
although I make money at it, but I mean, I'm not a multimillionaire, and
You're
which is
not?
okay. No,
Oh, I gotta go.
everyone thinks I am though for some reason.
It's tough now, but you're in a very wonderful position. I've been blessed to talk to a few people that are in a position to at least make some sustenance
Yeah,
be able
it's
to
it's
keep
really good.
going. And
You have to listen. You have to go out and play live, and you have to sell merchandise. But the thing is that it makes you. I mean, I don't lose. I have an expression, and I think everybody should like this expression. And I don't lose. I learn.
Mm. Oh, I got to write that one down. I like that.
I
That's
don't
good.
lose. I learn, and I learn. And I love playing, and I love meeting people, and you know. A lot of guys don't like it after shows. A lot of guys stay away from. Oh no, no, I can't. But I'm like the kind of guy that like shakes everyone's hand and gives everyone a picture, and like I'm a sweaty mess. I'm a sweaty mess, and I take all these sweaty pictures, and I look like shit. But you know what? I don't have time. These people don't have time to wait for me, to go dry my hair and make sure perfect. And that's a fucking poser, man. I'm not like that.
As a
That's my
fan of music, I know I can speak for a lot of people in saying how much that
right,
is truly appreciated because
right,
especially now, and I don't mean, but it is, things have changed. So going out to a show, getting people to go out to a show for one
right,
thing is like pulling teeth, but to get them
right.
when they're there, time is valuable. So, you paid for your ticket, whatever, you want to be entertained, but it's also about being able to connect with the people that you look up to as musicians and that you came to see. So to not have to wait around and to be able to connect like that, that is something
Yeah.
that is definitely appreciated, and
I
not
personally
everybody
find
does
that
that.
I personally find that rude and disrespectful of not coming. Listen, you can't. I mean, I tile down. I try to put myself back together after like playing my heart out. But people have buses. People have trains to catch. They come
Right.
see us. People are going to work the next day because we're playing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I mean, you got to be. We're very. You got to be kin to all that stuff that's happening around us. But the you know, the thing about touring is it's great on stage, but the traveling is it's unbelievably difficult.
It's
It really
grueling, isn't it?
oh
It takes its toll because then you have to be on point to get on. You have to be able to bring it, and there's definitely a, a huge physical element. I mean, you want to be in the right mindset and everything, but you also, it takes the stamina to get out there. And when you're traveling and you don't always get to, you're eating crap and you're not sleeping, and it's frustrating and stuff after a while. It takes a true performer to get out there night after night and
right.
act as if you've just been sleeping on your
That's
feather
right.
bed.
Just thinking
With being fanned by with palm fronds, etc., and fed grapes and all that crap, because it's
sure.
just not like that. I don't think it's like that for a lot of artists. I mean, so
You know Carmine Appice?
yes.
Okay, so he's coming. He's the musical director on this next leg. Him and his brother Vinny are coming down to South America with us. So I mean, we're talking. I'm talking to Carmine. He goes, "It's not." He goes, "We don't play. We travel." He's saying it's the travel that kills you. Like the first leg of the Metal All Stars, we had to fly to every venue.
Oh,
So we get in, okay, we get in, all right, we get into town. The next, okay, we after the show, it's like 1 in the morning, and there's a 5 o'clock lobby call, 5 a.m.
God, that's a pain in the ass.
There's
I'm
four
too
hours
diva for that
difference.
shit.
There's four. You get in at 1 o'clock, and you got to be in
Right.
the lobby, packed, showered, ready
Back
to go.
and
Because
ready to go.
next plane, go to the next plane, and then it's like forget it, man. And this was the whole. This was 10 dates, you know. So I mean, I'd much rather have a bus or a nightliner. I mean,
Yeah.
that kicked the shit out of all of us. I mean, we were shot. Oh my God.
I believe that. And then you have to come back. When you come back, you have other stuff going on. I mean, businesses and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about your personal life.
Oh well, the family owns a batting cage.
I think
We're
that's so
we're in
cool.
Middle Village, Queens, and it's sports. And it's a fun business. It's good enough I can leave it. People take my son, family. They don't like me leaving because I am the best. I run it the.
I bet. I mean, you get the business thing going on, but because when you have your own
Yeah, I
business,
mean, it's you know what? Some guys just like I don't know what a vacation is because
yeah.
I don't take them. I don't know what time off is because I don't have any.
And if you did, you probably would go nuts anyway. If you really
Right,
had that, someone stuck you on one of those private beaches or something,
right.
you'd
I mean,
probably nut up.
yeah, I think the only thing that I don't like is not enough. I used to have more time writing songs and that end, but I did write a few songs on the new Death Dealer and which is going to be out by April,
That
the
was my
second.
next question. So when's the
Yes.
next one out? When you play, Do you have to get like in a certain zone before you go on stage, or is it just like, well, let's go? You like automatically pumped up, or are you one of those people like? Because I know some artists like to be left alone; they need to have their space and kind of like
Yeah,
get in their head. Do you get nervous still? Do you not get it, or is it just like you're pumped and ready to go? Does that?
yeah.
How does that work for you?
Listen, before showtime, it's like no matter where it is, I'm concentrating on what I have to do. Like if it's the Dictators, it's on remote control. That the Dictators, that's in my
Automatic.
DNA.
Hmm.
That's DNA stuff. I'm playing some songs that are I mean 25, 26, 36, 40 years old. I mean, some of these songs I started playing when I was a teenager. So, uh, you know, it's amazing. But like Death Dealer, there's a little more. It's good. There's more precision. It's
Right.
metal. The Metal All Stars is going to be. I'm going to be. It's going to be something. That's going to be. Oh,
You're
that's
gonna
going to.
have to be mentally prepped for that one.
I'm going to be. Yeah, listen. I'm like these songs are in my head, man.
Right.
Everything, all these changes, and geez, like I write my songs. Strangely, all my songs are the simplest songs, like three chords, four chords, blah 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 blah. Like Testament is like a million changes in all these songs. It makes perfect sense.
I know I didn't have any sympathy for you yesterday, but I do
You
now, and
didn't. I mean, it's like
my
it's like
heart has softened,
it's like learning a
since then.
different language on
Yeah,
guitar. It
yeah.
really is. And
And I admire you for that. That's awesome.
Anthrax is a whole nother thing, and so my friends have been helping me out. My nephew Lance is helping me out. He's great. He gets better and better. He's in a great band called Fate Breaks Dawn. Fantastic, fantastic new group of young men. So I'm giving them a heads up.
I want to know where everybody can find all of your music. I meant to ask you this earlier, but you would do this when we're done. I do want you to send me either a list or the MP3s or whatever you want of, I want to play some of your favorite Death Dealer. I want to play the Dictators. I want to play some of the stuff so that people can really appreciate what
Huh?
the stuff is that you're talking about and turn them onto it if they haven't already been. And, just tell me where we can find your merchandise, everything. Break it
MP3s are
down.
good enough.
Huh?
MP3s, you want me to send
Yep.
you?
Yes, I do. But I want you to tell me where people can find all this stuff.
You can find, Dictators. You can find um, Norton Records. Go to Norton Records. You can find Shaken Street. They have on their website. You can find Man of War. We know we can find that.
Hmm.
Those are readily available if you're going to
Right.
buy them. Death Dealer. If you go on our if you go on our website, you can definitely find where to buy it.
Okay.
Though, yeah. What else? Pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. I just got a few more questions because
Also, we have the Dictators has an online merch store.
there you go. That's yeah, because
Yeah,
merch
we
and
have
stuff
that.
like that,
Yeah.
just spread the
But
word.
actually, they're going to start selling Death Dealer pre-order packs. Um, we call them the Ultimate Warrior packs. I mean, the last one before we put out War Master, the pack had three patches. It had an autographed picture of the band, a backstage pass for the band anywhere in the world, uh, like buttons, guitar picks with our pictures on it. I mean, this pack was unbelievable, full of swag,
Damn.
amazingly full of stuff for the fans that people loved it. And so we're going to do that again. We're going to have a pre-order of the new record and shipped anywhere in the world. It's right for Christmas. It's going
But
to be
I'll do a
next year.
pre-order anyway in
We're going
any
to
case because I want to donate towards the cause. We all got to keep making it happen.
yeah.
It's awesome.
This is you open it up. There's a lot of swag in there, and there's a
That's
lot of stuff.
awesome. That is
It was a booklet of the artist, the sketches,
yeah.
the artist sketches,
Right.
Sasso's sketches, and it's really, you know, really done well, and really good, with a lot of care and a lot of love. And the fans responded. I mean, the
It's
fans,
because that kind of art and that kind of presentation is definitely becoming a lost art, no pun intended. And I think that's with the CDs and then CDs going away and then everything being downloadable and all that stuff, to have something
Yeah,
that's actually tactile and in your hands is
yeah,
it's a wonderful thing, especially I think, especially for the metal fan,
right.
because that's like part of that tradition. It's part of and parcel of the whole experience. So to get that kind of shit is really really cool. And Sean had to have something to do with that.
Yep,
That
yep,
sounds like his thinking, and
yep.
that's what I admire about him. Always,
Yeah, that's. I mean, it really, it really was. I mean, it upset a lot of record company, upset the distributor, but so what am I gonna?
hey, well, no, that's fantastic, and that's just good business. So you've got one sold here, so no problem. Hopefully, many more. And I just wanted to ask one of just a couple more little questions, and then I'm going to let you go. Who inspires you? What musician inspires you?
Well,
Not just one. You can name a few.
well, listen. Growing up, my excuse me, my idols were all blues guys and Eric Clapton, the Cream and Black Sabbath and Jimi Hendrix and all those guys. BB King is my idol, and I know he's 89 years old now, and he was in the hospital. I was really upset. Guys like that. I mean, like I could see myself there, one
Yeah.
day. Chuck Berry, guys like that. They'll play till it's over. I mean, it's like Rolling Stones. Truly great. Truly
And is that
great.
still inspiration to you now? Who do you feel that's on the horizon uh, th- that you would like to give a shout out to?
Oh, my nephew's band Lance, If Fate Breaks Dawn. I think they're the
That's why
best
I
metal
said
band.
that.
They're the best metal band. Listen, I don't know. I don't listen to a lot of music. I don't have time for it. But I can tell you this: that those kids are fantastic. Those kids
Absolutely.
have a big future. The vocalist Mike Katoya is really one of the best up and coming. Up and coming voices I've heard.
Right.
You
Well,
know.
I just know that I have had the opportunity to meet Lance and hear him play, and I'm just blown away. And I had a chance to see him not that long ago.
Yep.
So that was just like, oh my God, my son. So we always kind of joke around that that's my adopted child.
I saw
So
some picture. Yeah,
huh?
I saw some good picture.
Yeah,
I think I saw
he's
something like that. Yeah.
so I'm really excited. And I just kind of wondered what, like, so if you're in your car or like what's on your iPod, what do you play? What are you apt to listen to before and after a show, if anything?
Well, if I do listen to music, I might put on some Wagner.
Yep.
I might put on some classical stuff. I might put on some incredible blues, BB King live at the Regal, um, greatest records ever made. Beatles. I love the Beatles. I love, I don't listen to metals because I've had, after I play, it's enough. I've had it.
See, that seems to be a very recurring theme with a lot of musicians that
Right.
that's all good and
Yeah.
you want to bring it and we're all into, but when it's just before it's on and right after it's done, it's like
Yeah.
enough. You got to like kind of
Yeah.
collectively just let that out. And then, and I find it just your history, your musical history, I find really interesting too. It's very cool to know how well rounded you are and all the different influences that you have. A lot of people, not everyone, but a lot of people, you get into the what I call the metal mindset, and it's just metal and all that stuff,
I
and
know.
not realizing what influences metal has anyway. And not only that, that in order for these musicians to stay fresh, in my opinion, you
Yeah.
have to have listen to something else. Otherwise, it will get stale. There's got to be some kind of other input. Do you know
Right.
what I mean? In order for you to extrapolate from that and then use the best elements of things to
Yeah.
create the music that you create.
Yeah. Last week I was hanging out. I was invited to an event in Long Island with Dave Ellison and Chris Broderick, and Alex Skolnick was there, and uh, bass player from Frank Bello, and JD from Black Label Society. So I was hanging out with Alex. John and I, me and my buddy John, were hanging out with Alex. We went out for something to eat, and like this guy is like so cool. I know Alex, and we played some shows together. So with Testament, and he's got a jazz band.
Mm.
He's got the guy's all about jazz, and he's really a jazz lover. And so I'm gonna go see him. He lives in Brooklyn, lives like 10 minutes away from here. So you got to have he plays. He doesn't. I'm sure he doesn't even. care about it. I mean, you have to have something different. So,
Yeah.
at least I play in two genres, and one of these days I'm going to do a blues record. So that's
Yeah.
my goal, man. So,
Yeah, I think that would probably be something you would actually just absolutely revel in.
well,
So I hope you get to
that's the
do
kind
that
of
soon.
guitar player I am. I'm a
All
blues
right.
guitar player. So
There you go.
it's just that, it's like Black Sabbath. Those guys were a blues band.
Yep, yep.
So that's where we are.
All right. And I just want to say thank you. You're an absolute joy, and thanks for talking to me earlier. And I am hoping that I actually get a chance to hang with you next month when I'm out in the New York area. So that would be quite an honor. So I hope we can make that happen.
Absolutely.
And uh, that's about all I got to say. I'm sure everybody listening has appreciated your time, especially I know how busy you are. It is definitely appreciated more than you know.
Well, thank you for everything. Thanks for all those nice words, and we'll see each
All
other.
right, darling. Good
Yeah.
night, and thanks again.
Thank you for having me.
All right, babe.
Bye.
Bye.